Hello everyone, my name is MJ Vilches and welcome to part 3 of Let's Make a 3D Artwork in Blender 2.82a, where I'm making an artwork, a 3D artwork for hashtag TUP Challenge. It's a challenge for the Underland project, just so that I could make more fan arts for the Underland Chronicles, and also to notify the followers of the Underland project that I am still working on, well, the project. So yeah, part 1 we did the layout. Part 2, I modeled all the other elements that haven't been modeled yet. And now we're in part 3, where we are gonna be applying some materials. We're doing some shading for the elements that doesn't have any materials in it. So yeah, let's just get started with the shading process. So what I'm planning to do for this part is I'm going to shade first the straps of the bag, just like in modeling where I started with this one. Gregor and Boots already have textures and nice shaders with them because I already modeled them for the Underland project. I'm also going to be releasing an animation with them soon. Yeah, I'm going to be putting some materials on the bag first and then the rats. So let's do that. So I'm going to look for, I think I did not properly name the rats here, so I'm just gonna rename that rats, and I'm gonna move it to a new collection by pressing M and then new collection and then name it rats. I'm just gonna disable it in the viewports for now because we're not going to be working on it yet. Because what we're going to be working on is the bag right here. So I'm going to go over to the shading workspace, which will make Blender kind of get stuck for a while because my laptop's not that great, and yeah, probably need to like save a backup before doing the shading process. Okay, it loaded up. So what I'm going to do is go back actually to layout, and I'm going to save a backup before doing some shading, just so that we can go back later if I make a mistake. So I'm gonna save a backup in a different folder, Son of the Sun underscore backup 1, backup 001. And I'm gonna go back to the original Blender file. Really hope I could get that PC upgrade soon. Not sure if it's gonna help, but I'm pretty sure it will. And yeah, the future of the Underland project also rests on that, because I don't think I can keep going with episode 2 if I don't get a PC upgrade. Episode 2 and the rest of the episodes. So there we go. It loaded up. And go back to shading workspace, and we're gonna go through that again. So that is actually a normal thing for me, even while animating, modeling, all the stuff. I have to wait as the shaders are being compiled. So yeah, okay, it's lagging, but now it doesn't. I'm just letting Blender I'm letting my computer take its time to just really load up things. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the camera view. It's important that it looks great here compared to other angles. So this is what you're gonna be seeing for the final render. So yeah, I have the bag selected. I'm gonna turn off overlays so that we're focused more on the shader or the shading. So yeah, I have the bag selected. Because I turned off overlay, you won't really see the orange outline, but as you can see there, when I turn it on, the bag is highlighted. So yeah, we are gonna start giving the bag a procedural shader. I'm gonna go to the material properties. I don't really need to go here because I already have this, but let's just put that there. So I'm gonna add a new material. It's gonna bring out this principled BSDF. So just to kind of initially see this, I'm gonna give it a dark brown color. The bag carrier, the baby carrier. So I'm gonna be using principled BSDF for this, like what I use for most of the objects here. And yeah, other people might like have some good advice of when not to use principled BSDF, but so far, I think for how I want the stuff to look on my artworks, principled BSDF is just doing the job. So I'm gonna increase the roughness. This is gonna be like I've decided that the bag carrier here is made by the spinners in the Underland, and yes, spinners in the Underland. I'm just gonna give away a spoiler here. So yeah, that's also one of the things that you're gonna have to watch out in this videos. And yeah, it's that I'm gonna be giving away some spoilers. So yeah, in the previous part I didn't say what the spinners are, but right now I guess it's important to tell you But yeah, I've decided that the bag here is made by the spinners, and the spinners are giant spiders in the Underland. They call the giant spiders spinners, since they're neutral and they're allied to the other races of the Underland. They make stuff. They like do some trades and stuff for the humans, and they trade like stuff like clothes and other fabric stuff. That's what they trade with humans. So this backpack carrier is made by them. That means it's made from a special web that they can only spin themselves. That means it doesn't exist in a real world. There's probably a real web that's not sticky, that's like a silk cloth. But yeah, I'm not really knowledgeable in that aspect, so I can't really cite an example. But what I'm aiming for is like a silky material for the backpack here. So I'm gonna be adding some textures and displacements for this. I'm gonna reduce the specularity a bit, maybe about 2.25. I'm gonna settle with a 0.85 roughness, and then I'm gonna be adding more texture to this using our textures here. I'm gonna start by doing this. I'm gonna add a Voronoi texture. I'm gonna start with a Voronoi texture and see. I'm just gonna be testing stuff here for a while. So I'm gonna add a mix RGB node, and I'm gonna use the distance as a factor. So I'm just gonna ink select this. I'm just gonna drop it here, and I'm gonna change the color of one of these guys later. Once it shows up here, I'm gonna be changing this to a lighter color. So I'm gonna increase the scale to make it smaller. I'm also going to add a texture coordinate and use object. But yeah, I'm gonna be changing stuff here and there as I work on this. So I wanna add like a web-like look to it. It's like mushed together like a web. It's kind of what I wanna achieve for the look here, and hopefully I'd be able to do that. Wonder what kind of texture we can use to do that. Maybe a wave texture. I'm gonna like add another mix RGB node here. I'm gonna put it there. Do this. Also gonna grab the brown again. Grab the brown right here, and I'm going to make both kind of lighter. And I'm gonna add that texture coordinate connect object to the vector, and we're gonna see how this will look. So I'm gonna increase it so much so that it looks like tiny threads. I want to keep it straight though. Okay, this one is what I am trying to look for. I'm gonna try doing this. So I'm gonna go for a 200 scale here. So yeah, I want the bag to look like it's out of this world. It's a unique thing, and I think that's looking great. I'm gonna experiment on different settings here just to get something that's not normal. So yeah, that kind of darker. But I'm just experimenting here. So yeah, a little disclaimer: I'm not that of an expert in shading. Most of what I'm doing is like trial and error, and that's probably what others do too, but less for those who are more knowledgeable about it. But I'm more depending on how things look as opposed to just sticking with the settings or the numbers. So we have that right there, and then next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and add that as a displacement. I'm not gonna attach it to the bump right here, to the normal map right here. I'm gonna use the displacement here because I don't know the technical side of it, but it just looks better for me. I'm just gonna add a math node, set it to multiply. I'm gonna add this color right here in the value, the upper one. I'm gonna connect this to displacement. That should give it a nice displacement, a bump map, or not. Probably reduce it 0.005. Too small, 0.05. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm gonna reduce the randomness. I'm gonna experiment on the texture coordinates. Oh, look at that. I mean, I'm gonna settle for that for now. I'm gonna add another color mix RGB node right here, because I'm gonna add a noise to it. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna add a texture, noise texture. I'm gonna connect the color and the other node here. Wait, I'll move around some nodes here to make space. Gonna set this to the color there. Gonna control S where anything bad happens. I'm gonna increase this like a lot. So this is probably not a good idea. I'm gonna keep going for now. Maybe like this. Probably not a good thing. Oh well, I'm gonna keep going with that, and I'm gonna set the vector of the noise to object, and we'll see how it looks. So I'm going to reduce the noise, leaning over more to the other color, so 0.005 probably. I'm gonna reduce this 0.015. I'm gonna try lightening up the color, lighten it up here, or darken it up. And then I'm gonna try and remove the distortion, or just tone it down some, maybe about zero distortion. Keep it straight, probably about 10 on the details. And yeah, I think I'm gonna settle for this for now. I'm probably gonna do a separate material for the straps and the bag right there. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna call this one bag. I'm gonna create a new material. Just gonna get the bag material and click this 2 right here to make a new material using all the settings that we just did. I'm gonna rename this bag underscore straps. I'm gonna apply this, show overlays for now. Now apply this to our bag here. I'm gonna assign that. We're gonna be changing some colors and texture settings here. Make it a bit lighter, more reddish, just to kind of give that variation there. And I'm gonna try to bring back the object for the vector of our Voronoi texture. So yeah, I really like the effect of the normal one. So this kind of like setup won't work if it's animated, probably. I'm just really experimenting here. So now that we have the material for the bag, I'm gonna stick with that for now and just do some tweaking later if I don't like the look of it. But for the most part, I think this is looking good. And we are gonna move on to the shirt. I just have to recolor the shirt because in the books, Gregor should be wearing the guest clothes that they gave him, which is blue. And I won't be changing Boots' shirt color because it stated that they gave her a pink shirt. I'm just gonna stick with her original shirt. So yeah, let's go and change the color of the shirt now. Regular shirt. I'm gonna press home to see where our nodes are. Right here. And I just need to mess with the color right here. So I'm gonna do that by using an RGB curves node. So yeah, I'm just gonna bump up the blue here. Should be the fastest way of doing it. So yeah, it's kind of purplish right now. So I'm gonna go bump it up more. And then I'm gonna reduce red. And yeah, I think that's looking great. So yeah, that's it. We've just changed Gregor's shirt color. Now we are going to move on to adding a material for the rats. Do that. I'm just gonna turn on viewport icon here so that I can enable the rats again. So I'm gonna add a new material. And call it rat 1. Add another one. Call it rat 2. I'm gonna add another one and call it rat skin. I'm gonna apply rat 1 with this rat right here. I'm gonna assign that. I'm gonna control I, assign rat 2, and then I actually need to make another one for rat claw. First, I'm gonna be assigning all this hand area to rat skin. Need to enable X-ray. Select all of the vertices here. Select all that and control numpad plus hand right there. I'm gonna assign this to rat skin, and then I'm gonna assign the claws to the rat claw. I'm gonna select the tips of the claw there. I'm gonna control numpad plus, select that, and I'm also gonna select this part right here. So yeah, this part is not gonna be visible in frame, but let's just add it just to make sure, and so that I don't have to go back later if they do affect anything. I'm gonna assign this to a rat claw. I'm just gonna change the color so I can see that it is applied properly. Okay, it is. And do the same here, and removing the vertices, they're not supposed to be included, and then assign that to rat claw. I'm gonna try changing the rat skin to see if it's affecting. So yeah, it does. I'm gonna change rat 1's color to this one, and rat 2 to kind of purplish. So there's Fanger and Shed. That's the name of the rats who are attacking Gregor here. So yeah, now that we've set up the material here, we're going to now add some nodes set up for this. So the hair right now, there's only one hair for each of them. This part is going to be like a silhouette, like most likely just black for the final render. So rat 1 is going to be the hair material, and rat 2 is going to be underneath the hair material. I'm gonna add this to the rat 2. I'm gonna use a greenish color as well. So yeah, now we have the rat 1 for the hair, rat 2 for the skin under the hair, rat skin for the one that doesn't have fur, I always say hair, and rat claw for the claws. So yeah, let's set up the nodes for the hair first, the hair material. And for the hair, I'm gonna use the hair BSDF modifier, node, which is actually existing only on Cycles render. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the render engine to Cycles because I'm gonna be using Cycles for the final render. I'm gonna go with principled hair BSDF. That's what I was looking for. I think I'm gonna go with direct coloring. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna control B. This is definitely gonna ruin the recording. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to quickly make a light setup, I guess. Just really quickly set up the light here. I'm gonna use the existing light. This is just a quick lighting setup. I'm not really going to like really light it up right now. So I'm just gonna move the light right on the torch there, and then I'm going to I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna use scene world and scene light. I'm gonna make that yellow. Possibly reduce the brightness some, about 200 probably. I'm gonna change the world to black. They're gonna be in total darkness. Probably bring it up a bit just so we can see here. So I'm just gonna make a quick render preview of what this is going to look like, and then I'm gonna go back because I really can't record this. I can't really record the rendering process. I'm gonna show overlays again so you can see that I added a render region there by pressing Ctrl B and then selecting a portion right here, and then I'm going to change the color here just a bit. Change it to like bluish gray, greenish gray color. So yeah, to make this kind of lighter. Actually, first to make this lighter, I'm just gonna reduce the viewport render to about 5. I'm gonna be rendering this probably for 50 samples. I'm gonna use denoising, but that's just temporarily, just so we can see if this is gonna work. So yeah, you can see there our hair setup. It's looking nice, and I think I'm gonna settle with it because it really looks. I'm gonna settle with like the default settings, and then I'm gonna do input hair info, and I'm gonna put a mix RGB node here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach this here. I'm gonna get the color. I'm just gonna get the color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this factor to random here. Won't have an effect yet because I didn't connect it. And what we're gonna do is I'm going to change the color like that. See, I changed the color, and now I'm gonna be attaching it to the color here. So yeah, I think this is enough. It's really looking good already, and this is gonna be blurred, by the way, because it's out of focus, because the focus will be Gregor. So this, I think, our hair material is already enough. I'm gonna try and preview the whole thing. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to look. Just a nice rim light for the furs here. And yeah, I think our material here is already looking great thanks to the principled hair BSDF. I didn't have to do much, only changing the color. And Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna change the settings of the hair to make it look more appealing. But yeah, as I said, this is gonna be out of focus. It's gonna be blurred out. So what I'm gonna do is gonna go back to layout, and yeah, I'm gonna make more changes on our fur here. I'm gonna go to particle settings. I'm gonna go to render. I'm gonna change some settings on the render here. I'm gonna check B-spline. I'm gonna settle with 8. I'm gonna make more tweaks on our children settings here. So I'm gonna set the random to 0.1. Let's see what happens. Doesn't look great. 0.05 looks great. The end point is like the end points of the strands. Parting it probably about 0.15 or 0.01 will do. I can't see the steps because I need to tweak it on the viewport settings. Set that to 8, and it's gonna take some time. So yeah, increase the steps and maybe 7. Let's try 7. So it's not too much. Our rat fur had become curly, so we are going to try and set that to 0, which is probably not good. So 0.05. Let's see. I know it's too much. 0.005, and then I'm gonna set the randomness 0.005 so that it's not too curly. I'm gonna slowly increase the value here until I get that look that I want. So yeah, 0.025 I think is what we want here for the fur. So it just looks, you know, messy, but not too messy. Let's increase it a bit, 0.035. So yeah, there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna settle with that. Not gonna take too much time there because that's gonna be blurred out anyway. It's gotta be final for our rat fur there. So now, the next thing we're going to do is make some node setup for our skin here, which is not going to take too much time. So I'm gonna go to our shading workspace, and then I'm gonna select the rat again. And go to material properties. I'm gonna set this to material preview. So now that we are in material preview, I'm just gonna go to rat skin and make some changes here. So I think the color of the skin is already enough. Probably make this a bit of a pinkish tone. It's not gonna be that obvious because it's mostly silhouette subsurface. Let's try that. It's too much. 0.05. Already you can see subsurface there. It's looking really nice. 0.025 works, I think. See, our skin is looking great. Not gonna be doing much there. We're gonna proceed to the rat claw, and I'm just going to increase the metallic of this, or clear coat, by 1, and reduce the roughness probably. And then, so I'm gonna start with a black claw because rats' claws are like very dirty. It's filled with dirt. I'm gonna add a little red there too, which is, you know, it's not really that visible. So yeah, that's all that I'm going to do for the claws and the skin there. And I think the shading part is done for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a quick test render, and I'm gonna show it to you guys. So yeah, look at this. Looking real nice already. But of course, we still need to do more to it so that it looks even more awesome. Furs are looking great. That's gonna be blurred out later because the focus is gonna be Gregor's face here. I'm probably gonna add more expression to Gregor's face, more motion, and yeah, we're going to add a background, which we'll do right now. So I'm just gonna do a quick modeling here. It's not really gonna be that complicated. So I'm just gonna put the background right behind Gregor, of course, right here. I'm gonna add a plane. I'm also gonna do this so that you can see here more clearly. So I'm just gonna edit that and just move it down. It's not important where it is down there because you won't really see it. And then I'm gonna try this first. I'm gonna extrude to the z-axis and see how that looks. So yeah, I just needed to cover Gregor here. So yeah, this whole scene, actually the escape part of Gregor, because Gregor here is escaping from Underland, which is a stupid thing to do. That's why he ended up running into the rats. But yeah, I don't have a clear vision of how that whole scene actually is going to look like where they are. Just know they're like in an underground beach thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna settle with that. So I'll shade smooth this. I'm gonna add and go back to the layout here. I'm going to try and do some. I'm gonna add like a multi-resolution here. Subdivide that a couple of times, and I'm going to go and just use actually modifiers to do this. Put displace. I'm gonna add a new texture. Call it cave. I'm gonna go here in the texture properties. Make sure cave is selected. I'm gonna change the type to Voronoi. And you can already see how it looks like. I'm gonna add more subdivision and probably reduce the strength. 0.25 will do. 0.25. And then I'm going to tweak the texture here so that it's going to look great. So I'm gonna increase the size probably to about 0.5. I'm gonna set the intensity to 1. I'm gonna try different settings here just until we get like a look that we want. Actual distance, distance squared. Yeah, I'm gonna settle with that for now. I'm gonna increase the strength by 0.5. I'm gonna try to do a material preview for this one here, just so we see how the shadows look. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and check scene lights again and scene world, and now I can change the world settings to black because now we have a background. I'm probably gonna bring this down some. A little bit closer. Not too close. So yeah, the feet area is not important. I just really need to make the background look nice when looking right here. So what's the difference between negative 0.5 and 0.5? Nothing, apparently. Let's just stick to negative 0.5 for now. So it needs to look great here. So we're gonna go to the shading again. Go to shading. I'm gonna add a material for cave background there. So I'm gonna add a new material. Call it cave. So initially, let's try and change the color. This is going to be kind of brown. I'm gonna try and make the walls kind of like shiny. Increase the roughness a bit. About 0.5 for everything. And now we're gonna add more texture to it. So I'm gonna add a mix RGB node, kind of like how we did the bag. And actually, before connecting that, I need to copy this color right here and connect that. And then I'm gonna use texture as the factor again. I'm gonna try Musgrave this time. Put that in there. I'm gonna go object. I'm gonna get texture coordinate, set it to object, make this darker so we can see the difference, and increase the scale to about 70 probably. And then I'm gonna set that as displacement. Doesn't look great. I'm gonna go converter, math, and add that right there to control the intensity of the displacement. Make this multiply 0.005. I'm gonna try and invert the color of this. Make this one the brightest one. Make the other one darker. Set that back to 2. And I'm going to add more to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add possibly a noise texture. Set that as object. A color ramp node may be better for this. Let's give that a try. Color ramp. Just gonna add this to the factor. Connect it to the factor. And then add this. I'm just gonna move the nodes. Connect this to the lightest one right there. I'm gonna increase the scale to about 50. I'm gonna change the color reddish tint probably. This needs to be brownish, and you can already see how it's looking. There's gonna be fire here, so most of it will be covered. So I think that's great. I think I can settle with that. Just gonna decrease the intensity of the fire probably by 200 or 100. I think we're done for the shading process here. So I'm gonna do a last quick test render, and then after that we're probably done. But yeah, I'm gonna do a quick test render. So yeah, here's another test render. There are stuff that I'm seeing that I definitely need to tweak more. I really need to add more expression on emotion on Gregor's expression here, and also probably increase the displacement of the bag so that it doesn't look so plain. Doesn't look like it has texture at all. Also, of course, the fire will be added soon. Let's just try and do that. I'm gonna try and draw a fire here. I'm gonna increase the thickness to about 10. I need to long press D while doing this. So yeah, the fire will be right here. Not sure yet how I'm gonna do the fire, but yeah, the fire's gonna be here. Might add some lens flares too. Yeah, the last thing we'll do is I'm going to add more expression on Gregor's face there, and yeah, probably move Gregor's arm up here. And I really don't like how his hand is looking here. Probably gonna tweak that more, make it more appealing. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna change some poses. So I'm just gonna raise that up a bit, bring this down more, move it closer. I'm gonna go to this, move this closer to each other. They're really compressed because it's really gripping that torch there. Probably putting it right here so that his hand is like stretched. I'm going to turn on the clothes rig as well. I'm going to adjust more stuff here. I just want to move this closer to his arm so that it's not floating there. I actually need to put this cave to a different collection, new cave, DG. And I'm just gonna not view that. Also the rats. So yeah, I think that's already looking great. I'm gonna bring back the rats because I need to see if it's properly in the frame there. I'm gonna turn on arms again and just moving it so that it's just there. I'm gonna raise his upper lip here a bit. So yeah, looking great, I think. His expression here. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and edit more. First the bag. And I'm gonna give it more displacement so that it's like visible. It's more visible in render. 0, 8, 5. I'm gonna settle with that for now. And also for the cave, I don't want it to be too dark. Increase the brightness a bit. And I'm gonna add another one in the middle there. I'm gonna increase the roughness a bit. 0.75. 0.75. So yeah, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna do this. So I really just want them to look great for the final render. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the cursor right here on Gregor's middle of the eyes here. I gotta make sure that I'm in camera and lights collection. Shift A. I'm gonna add an empty. Name it focus. Okay, pressing F2. I'm gonna select the camera again. Go to object data properties for camera. And then I'm gonna check depth of field. I'm gonna use the empty as the focus object. You can kind of see what's happening here. Gregor is in focus, and the background should be kind of blurry. So I'm going to make one final. I think I said final already the last time, but yeah, this is probably the last test render, and then we're gonna end the part right here. Because after this, we're gonna be fixing the lighting for the final render, and we'll be done. I'm also going to do some color, some compositing also here in Blender for the next part. Probably we're gonna do lighting and then compositing for the last part, which is going to be the part after this one. So yeah, I'm gonna do one last test render, and let's see how our materials look. So yeah, look at this, already looking great. I don't know, there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be done, of course, and I'm probably gonna be rendering each of these elements separately, like the foreground elements and then the subject and then the background. I'm gonna be rendering them separately so that I can control how blurry they are, so that we also don't lose all the details on the rats here. So yeah, I think it's already looking good. I can't really, I might have to do some changes for the straps, like more changes for later. But yeah, in the most part, I think this is looking great, and I can't really properly see it because it's rendered at a 50% resolution, so the details may be lost from that. And yeah, one of the next things that I'm going to do is also the fire. We still need to figure out how to do that. And yeah, the next part will be, I'm gonna be dealing with the lighting, and probably also find a way how to do the fire right here. And I'm also gonna include the compositing for the final part of this series. So yeah, artwork is almost done, but this is definitely not how it's going to look for the final render. And yeah, this is it. This is part 3 of Let's Make a 3D Artwork in Blender 2.82a. And yeah, hopefully you've got something from this. I did a lot of stuff in a janky way. Thanks for watching till the end. Consider subscribing if you want to see more, because I plan to make more. And yeah, my name is MJ Vilches, and see you in the next part.